What's up, guys? wiredzero here, and welcome to the Sunday wrap-up. Now, if you're new to the channel, every Sunday for about 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be picking a handful of topics and showing some video, playing some games. I'm not a gamer, but, showing some content. So, in this week's episode, what we're going to be going over is the 50 million compromised Facebook accounts, Google Plus shutting down after exposed data, Kanye West meeting with Trump. Boy, did that raise some eyebrows, not people? And Nikki Haley resigning as the UN ambassador. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started and start this week's Sunday wrap-up, October 14th, 2018. Bada bing. All right, let's start gaming, people. And I will be playing on a Linux Mint 19.1 codename Tessa machine. We're playing Counter-Strike, and I gotta get warmed up. Again, I'm not a gamer, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So, Facebook, 50 million accounts compromised. 50 million accounts compromised. Now, what they're talking about being compromised is, like when you go log in and you can log in as something, well, when you choose to log in as Facebook, apparently that's the problem with that. So whenever you create an account with whatever site you're on, use your email address. Just use your email address. That's the safest way to go about that. Yeah, where are we going here? So let's see some information on this Facebook account hack.
Well, in Privacy Watch, Facebook revealed a widespread hack on Friday that compromised tens of millions of accounts. The tech giant said that earlier this week, its security team uncovered an issue that affected 50 million accounts. So as a precaution, another 40 million users will need to log back in due to a flaw in Facebook's View As feature. But the hack may be even more widespread than Facebook initially announced. Jennifer Greigel is an assistant professor of communication at SI Newhouse School of Communications at Syracuse University. Jennifer joins me now on set. So, Jennifer, Facebook has announced that third-party sites may be affected by the hack. So what are we talking about here?
We're talking about anyone that's using Facebook login to connect an outside party. So it could be something like Tinder. We've seen Airbnb as another example, to apps like Spotify. So it really goes to show how widespread their privacy has been exposed.
So can you explain to us how this hack would allow access to other sites?
To other side, well, they've gained access to what's called the token. And so once they're inside, they have the ability, apparently, to go in and access other apps. And it's because there's integrations on the back end with Facebook. And so we have to remember, Facebook is saying this was extremely complicated. They triangulated to find this exposure and hack in. It should also remind people of how complex Facebook has become as well. And that is for them to make sure their code is clean. And I think this really highlights the failure of how the technology is being integrated.
Pretty interesting stuff. All right. Okay. Never a fan of Google Plus to begin with. It was always a pain in the ass, when you're creating multiple YouTube channels and you got to create a new Google Plus page. It's like, I'm never going to use that anyway. So I just got fucking nailed right there. All right. So it was discovered, I think, back in March, this compromise. It really didn't affect too much, in my opinion. I mean, what do you really share on Google Plus? I mean, my personal experience, not much at all. So yeah, let's look at some of this info on the Google Plus compromise.
Hundreds of thousands of accounts on Google's social network, Google Plus, have reportedly been exposed, and Google allegedly hid this from the public for months.
How are we supposed to trust social media? Tracy Carrasco joins us with more on that and the fallout this morning.
Yes, very good question, Lauren. Google is shutting down its social network, Google Plus, after the private data of up to 500,000 users was potentially exposed because of a flaw Google didn't disclose. Google says the data was limited to optional profile fields like the person's name, email address, occupation, gender, and age, and that the bug did not affect any other data users may have posted or connected to Google Plus or any other service like Google Plus posts, messages, Google account data, phone numbers, or G Suite content.
But, I mean, they hit it, and that's the big story here, right, Trace? I mean, how long did they actually keep this under wraps from the public?
Yes, they did hide it. In fact, according to the Wall Street Journal, the bug was fixed back in March, but Google hid the exposure for months. The bug gave more than 400 outside developers possible access to private profile information of Google Plus from 2015 to March 2018, when those internal investigators discovered and fixed the issue. Google says it found no evidence that any profile data was misused, but as you said, hiding this was the big story.
Yeah, you can't do that in Europe now because of the new rules, and maybe that's where we're headed now in the U.S., but this is coming at a very critical time for the company.
Yep, that's right. CEO Sundar Pichai is set to testify before the House Judiciary Committee in November to address concerns over the company's business practices. He will now have to address this latest issue and why Google failed to notify Google Plus users sooner. This comes at a time when regulators and consumer privacy groups want to hold these tech companies accountable for their protection of our personal data. Following this news, shares of Google's parent company Alphabet, well, take a look at the board. You can see they were down yesterday.
Kanye West meeting with Trump. Damn, did this stir up a lot of shit, huh, people? I personally, he went up a couple notches in my book. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. You know, it's a guy supporting our president. Whether you like him or not, you should support the president. You left people, you need to get a grip, all right? Hillary's not president. Get over it. If she was, I wouldn't be stirring the pot, you know? So, Jesus Christ, chill out. So, yeah, let's look at some footage on this Kanye meeting with Trump deal.
Kanye West's Oval Office meeting with President Trump, sparking a media firestorm. Here's a quick refresher of what went down yesterday.
You know, they tried to scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. When I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. If he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president. He has to be the freshest, the flyest planes. But I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug. I love this guy right here.
Nikki Haley resigning from the UN, well, as our UN ambassador. In case you don't know who this chick is, she's a pure fear or pure warmonger. Okay. Probably, in my opinion, as evil as you can get. All right. And I might get backlash from that. But, you know, this is some lady who, if you want to support someone, you know, the Hawaiian chick, what's her name? She's the shit. But Nikki Haley? Nah. Evil. And why is she getting or why is she resigning? Good question. Apparently she got a lot of fundage from third parties, and it's easier for her to resign than take the backlash. That's my opinion. I think that she's going to be a possible candidate with Pence for the... There you go. There you go. The next presidential election, which will be a horrible thing. We don't need a warmonger in that state. No, we don't. So, yeah, let's look at a couple clips from this.
Very
critical of the then candidate Trump and his rhetoric, slamming against division. She's, of course, the daughter of immigrants. So she's very much played that up. And so when she took this job as UN ambassador, it was surprising to some because of her history with Trump, but they had made amends, and she had been saying that she was supportive of him when she needed to be, and she wasn't afraid to also voice her criticisms of him.
So, Caitlin, President Trump has tweeted out a big announcement with my friend Nikki Haley. So when you look at that type of wording, there are questions swirling. Will she be reassigned? She declined to comment when she was asked that by a Reuters reporter on the way into the White House. But as you mentioned, their relationship over the years has been tumultuous, and then they've come together. So it would be very interesting to see if she is reassigned.
All right. Counter-Strike, CSGO, on Linux Mint. Plays pretty well. This is Austria. Works fairly well. I'm using a MSI 710 GeForce video card. Works excellent. I haven't really played a game with bad performance yet. Oh, that's what happens when you try to use a handgun in a machine gun fight. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is wiredzero, and this is CSGO, and this is your Sunday wrap up. So what did we learn? Kanye West went up a few notches in my book. Google Plus could go and nobody even cares. Facebook, don't log in with a Facebook login. And Kanye West, yeah, don't give him shit, you know. Again, he went up a couple notches in my book, you know. Didn't like him in the past too much, but he's okay. He supports our president. Whoever that is, you should support him. All right. With that said, I hope you had a great week. wiredzero, last kill right here. Peace out. Have a wonderful week and a closing Sunday.